Ed from Pinball Mayhem here. Time for my daily shuffle bowler update. I have the legs all polyurethane, and I ended up doing this morning, I did one coat on the back and then I flipped them over and did two coats on the front. And if you work in the same pattern, so I worked a certain pattern, allows me, when I get to the end, I'm using super fast dry acrylic, so I'm pretty much able to go right back to the beginning for the second coat on the front. Now, I always do the back first, and then whatever side is going to sit the longest, I want it to be the side you're going to see. So if something in the wood sticks to it, or if there's any dripping right now, it's going to drip towards the back, so you're not going to see it. If it's in the spot where it overlaps another board, I can sand that off. So I did that this morning. Just got done with dinner and decided to give these another go at it. So what I did is I first hit them with some 320. What happens is when you first paint wood, if stained or whatever, it furs up, so the little grains lift. Give it a couple coats of clear and then just hit it with some 320 with your hand, not a block. And you're not sanding the crap out of it. Just go over everything lightly. Then I hit it with a tack cloth. And then I gave another coat on the back, two coats on the front, and this is just finished. Noticed my polyurethane is getting kind of crusty, but as long as it still works. That's what I was talking about, where I rushed it at some point, and you can see it's not milky white like it's supposed to be. It has some stain in it. When you are brushing on the polyurethane, always go with the grain for the final brush. Pick it up and go all around the sides and look at it in the light. So when you're looking at it through the light, you can see maybe a spot that you missed or is a little bit drier than the other one. Notice the grain is different on the old legs than the new legs. They go with the board. So you have to paint it with the grain so that when that polyurethane lays down, and don't spend too much time on one board. So you kind of get a rhythm and go through the whole thing. I maybe could squeeze out another coat. This first one's probably pretty dry right now, but I think I'm going to leave it. So this gives me 4 coats on the front, 2 coats on the back, with the sanding between right in the middle. It's going to allow them to be pretty smooth. Now, if I wanted to, I could keep putting it down. Latex polyurethane is a lot thinner, so it's going to take more coats to get it super glossy. I'm probably going to be real happy with the way this works. And tomorrow, it says 24 hours till you can handle it lightly, and 3 days till you can use it. So very good chance I'm not going to do a video tomorrow. These are just going to be sitting here drying. And there's the lane on end. We never did any finishing to it because we didn't decide to finish. You can see this is the side that was farthest away from us when we were doing all the work. These are the pins. And I'm going to have to, other than, of course, the obvious are Formica in the middle, which I don't have anything for. Other than that, the other thing I need for this is to put those bushings on the other side. I might cut the brass rod up, and I need 2 bushings, so that means, or the brass tubing, I'm going to cut 4. I'm going to cut 3 at 1 1/4 inches long. I think I measured it's a little longer than 1 1/4 inches what's in there now, but it doesn't need to be that because those pins only stick out maximum 3/4. You're saying, well, why do I need 4? Well, I'm going to hit 3 at 1 1/4 and 1 at 1/2 inch. The 1/2 inch one I'm going to use to slip over the pin and then partially assemble the lane with that little ring in there, and that's going to allow me to draw a pencil line or use it to mark the board on the other side to try to get an idea of where it's going to go. And the third 1 1/4 is going to be a sample. I'm going to take a piece of hardwood, drill a hole into it, and hammer that in and see how it deforms or how it fits. Because you never want to screw up your original piece. Now, if I do screw it up, I'd have to drill it out bigger, put a wooden plug in there, wait a day, and then start over. So as long as when I'm drilling out the other side, as long as I don't over drill this too much or screw it up, I should be fine. This lane was originally the last section that had the pin bank in it. You can see there's been some filling. This is still a Chicago coin, but it had the nylon strips down there. I bought this off a guy that it was left over after one was destroyed. And my dad did a lot of work to make it look and fit this beautiful. And of course the wood, we'll have to decide how I'm going to refinish that, what I'm going to do with the lanes, what I'm going to do with the oak on the side, and go from there. But definitely going to do something cool. I don't think I have. Other thing I was going to talk about, I didn't say with the staining. When you're staining, prepping the wood, because you want it as smooth as possible, but this is oak, it's not going to be that smooth. When you're prepping the wood, a lot of people are going to say, well, go 320, go 400, go super fine sandpaper. If you go too fine of a sandpaper, it's not going to take stain well. It's not going to stain dark. The highest I normally go is 220 maybe 150, 120, and when you're hitting it with the orbital, and the orbital is getting kind of worn down, you don't know what grit you're at. So just be aware that some woodworkers will actually hand sand a little bit with like a 120, 200, just to kind of do some tests if you're new to staining, and time it right. So I've got to cap all this stuff up, call it a night. So tomorrow, Sunday, I'm not going to do any work, so there won't be a video first thing Monday morning. And next time I'm able to do work, when these are dry enough to assemble, I will put that brass rod in and hopefully show you a final video and me sitting there complaining that I have to figure out what I'm going to do for the lane top. Have a great rest of the weekend, everybody. Thanks.